players here. Peekaboo, I've been here the whole time. Are we ready? Let's get this show on the road. Cellium fights two right off the wrist, makes it three. Taken down 1-5-1, last man standing. Oh, it's real early. The BZ waiting to pounce. There's the next, giving the last one through. Waiting for his demise, and there it is. Look at the minimap FaZe are in. It's the guts, it's the glory, it's the championship for FaZe.
Welcome back to the pre-show, guys. I'm your host, Nameless, filling in for Belly. He's feeling a little bit under the weather today, but we're going to hold down the ship for him. This is aLLeY, and we're going to talk about Atlanta versus London. Now, this match is huge. It is so important for seeding. Looking at the Atlanta FaZe, if they lose this match, they're potentially going to be in a bad spot as they still have to play OpTic later in the league. But for Atlanta FaZe, this is a very tough match for them. Two top three teams. Atlanta FaZe coming off of a loss to Seattle, where they lost 2 search and destroys. This team has to step it up going into this one. A team where search and destroy has been their bread and butter for years. They've been trying to figure it out, aLLeY. It just hasn't been working.
And not only that, they've been struggling on rotating and respawn as well. Like, their first map, yeah, you can get away with that in bow cage, but on a map like Berlin, you cannot get away with just busting your head in through the hill.
Yeah, so let's talk about the game field keys to victory. What is Atlanta going to have to do to take down the London Royal Ravens, aLLeY?
Well, they're going to have to bring their A game for Desert Siege S&D. London is first in offensive win percentage and second in defensive win percentage in Desert Siege. I'm assuming that's going to be in the map lineup and developing your control offensive game. Atlanta is first in control defensive win percentage, 7th in offensive win percentage. So get a little bit more aggressive, push towards that B side and steal that offense round early. And coin flip winner has a massive advantage on game 3. London is 6-3 on Gavutu. Atlanta is 6-2 on Tuscan.
Oh, that coin flip's going to mean so much. London is sitting there just hoping they won that coin flip because that's going to be a massive map in the series. But for the London Royal Ravens, I mean, what we saw yesterday was a little bit of a rockier start, a little bit of a slower start. Maybe you can attribute that to Gizmo sort of getting warmed up once again. But once they set into that series, Gizmo looked fantastic.
And I'm honestly going to be watching Nasty today. He struggled a little bit in the respawns yesterday. We obviously saw his ace in the search and destroy and his dominance in game 5. If he comes out swinging in the hard point, I think this will be a much better matchup than we expect.
Yeah, London Royal Ravens hard point, man. I was not expecting this team to be such a nasty hard point team, but Afro for me has just been unbelievable. Sitting at a 1.11 KD, he's a route man. I mean, every time we're watching his triangle on the minimap, we're like, this guy's hitting routes, he's getting behind, getting big 2 pieces. So for the game field keys to victory, what is London going to have to do to take down Atlanta FaZe?
Well, send bow cage hard point to the veto bin. Atlanta is 6-0, 8-7 on non-bow cage maps, so just get rid of that. Do not allow that to slip by in the series. And win the rotational battle on Gavutu hard point. Atlanta is first in Gavutu hold percentage. London is third. London has been struggling on those rotations as of late once again. And take the bow cage S&D. Atlanta hasn't played it yet, but London is 2-0. So play to your strengths rather than their weaknesses.
Well said, aLLeY. Now, you know what time it is. It's everybody's favorite part of the show, the predictions. For all the Twitter haters out there, we're going to do it right now. So pick'ems, London versus Atlanta. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go with London.
Map count.
Why do you have to hit me with the map count?
You got to make it spicy.
3, I told you this earlier. I don't know if this is true. I'm going to go 3-2. I'm going to go 3-2. I know I said 3-1 earlier, but I think 3-2 is more
okay, so it's going to be a banger nonetheless. I'm going to go with Atlanta FaZe. Still got second at the event. You know, they're trying to figure it out, but I think they close this one out in a game 5. This team has way too much of a chip on their shoulder to continuously lose and potentially land in losers bracket. But that's it for me and aLLeY. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We're going to kick this over to Miles and Chance and get this day started.
Thank you very much, team. Real excited to get this one underway. We are honestly starting the day off with like a magical series. We've got Ravens, we've got FaZe. It's gonna be a banger. Chance, how are you, brother? You look great.
I'm doing great. I mean, I agree with Nameless's analysis earlier, just talking about the strength of schedule that Atlanta has. London already have 3 matches out of the way, 3 wins that they've been able to accrue, and like, it's not a guarantee. I know tiebreakers can definitely get weird, but like, they should be able to start a winner's bracket without too much of a sweat. Atlanta, though, could be a problem because it's not just OpTic they have to deal with, but also Toronto and Florida after this series. And I mean, again, just starting off your stage 2, losing to Seattle, that can make things very problematic. And as far as the series go, London, they won the coin flip. I don't like that it's a part of the analysis, but here we are. You get the Gavutu control, so that is a not a massive advantage, but certainly a nice thing for London to have for the game 3. GvU a hard point, another strong moment for London as well. And the Bocage, completely unknown for FaZe. We expect them to be good on this map, but we simply do not know. And of course, on the flip side, London 2-0, not too shabby. And if it goes all the way to that game 5, it's a rematch between these two teams. It went round 11 last time they played, but it was Ravens that came away with the dub. So make no mistake, Miles, I favor FaZe in this series. I will not bet against this team like in the short term, like at all. But that being said, as far as the maps goes for London, it's pretty damn good.
It should be a truly wonderful contest to get things going here. Day 2, week 2 of stage 2, all the 2s. It's of course 2022, and we're on board with Afro. And sadly, he doesn't have a 2 in his name, but he may be able to get a 2-piece if he gets in the ring in time. No, aBeZy there. Opening kills goes the way of FaZe. Time now ticking theirs as well. It's a nice opener indeed. Looking for Nasty now to hit that flanks and try to find a semblance of control here, and he will find that 2-0 right off the rip. Hardpoint now back in the hands of the Ravens for a brief few moments. Here come the reinforcements, and Chance is already off to the races.
And look, it is a little bit different off the opening break, but sort of the theme in my mind for this game is Ravens, they're disgusting on this P1 hill. Now, granted, the opening break can be a little bit different, but this is where they sort of have the biggest edge against FaZe. And of course, later on, that P4 setup that FaZe has been able to get a couple times, that's where they could blow the game wide open. So just for the fact that you're kicking this off, Arcitys already on a 5 spree, and you have a lead after P1, Atlanta, they're in a good spot.
Nice spot to be in. 30 points and climbing now as P1 comes to a close over to the second. As Arcitys doing his homework from across the map, he's going to get himself 6 kills to nothing thus far. Simp on the approach towards the hard point. In he goes, gets the best of Afro there with the rat in hand. As again, hard point time ticking away for a brief few moments. FaZe right back on point. A beautiful opening here, Chance on GvU. Arcitys is lined up, got himself 7 in a row, makes it an 8. That's going to be streaks, baby, on the menu now. We're eating good as Atlanta FaZe start the map off strong and continue to hold.
I mean, just with that start from Arcitys, though, if you're thinking like, you know, 50-50 shot for either of these teams winning going in, I'm up to like 80-20 for FaZe. They got the good spawns. They got the streaks when they need them. And if Arcitys has the hot hand, well, FaZe will be having a good time. So right now, Ravens, they got their work cut out for them. They have an atrocious spawn if they're trying to get over that break towards New. I mean, maybe good news, Zero trying to collect a bit of this scrap, but he can't even get that. Afro at least wins his one up towards Ring, but he's got no help from his teammates. So, I mean, Ravens right now, they just have such a long way to go.
Yeah, it's a long way to go indeed. FaZe now in control of the hard point over towards the next rotation. To the beach we go. Afro getting ready to get the party started here with a pineapple in hand. Nades are up and about. Cell. Tags are in, damage dealt. Now the approach. Simp's going to be there. First line peeks out, finds one, dips out. Zero's up next. You got to deal with Simp once again. And finally, you will stop one half of the terrors over to Cell now on the hard point. Left alone. Reinforcements flooding on through. 40 seconds remaining on the hard point. Atlanta FaZe locking it down brilliantly. Here comes aBeZy. The rest of the squad's in. Afro's finally got some purchase. Cut down again. Seemingly impossible to make your way in on towards this beach hard point, as you will see Atlanta FaZe continue to hold.
I gotta say though, this just feels like shades of the Major, right? Like they had that one like series loss for FaZe, and then Arcitys was like, all right, never mind, that's fine. I will do it myself. And well, he's the main factor. They have such a big lead, and 80-point blowout for the moment that honestly go up to 90 before we get there. And players try to make an opportunity to break over towards New. Usually aBeZy's gotten through. Arcity's coming from the flip side, but aBeZy, while he gets taken down, I'm gonna say maybe makes that player one shot for Arcitys to get the help, but Ravens take care of business. Woo! Maybe are gonna try to turn the game around here, but obviously it is a big hole they're trying to dig themselves out of.
Well, one shovel of sand at a time here on GvU as they're doing what they can over on the next point. This could be the end of the run from Atlanta FaZe. Glide's going to be out trying to help the break near now from Arcitys. Here it comes. Afro's the target, lands it, cleans up one. 2 members of Ravens on the point. Here comes another push now from Atlanta FaZe. They should be having the purchase now to make this work out. Oh, but nice coverage from Zero. A 3 from the top tower as Zero now on a 5. Looking to get any more? No. Great work out of Simp to stop the spree in its tracks. You still have the members of the Ravens spawning close to that point, but Chance, the battle has come to a close. The time is still ticking, and if anything, FaZe have managed to make a wonderful bit of work on this point despite being on the backhand.
Yeah, FaZe loves setting up this spawn trap, and you see, by the way, great awareness on the mini map as well. Number 5, he's turning around. They know that Afro got through, so they're keeping track of every single player, and Afro not even able to get his teammates those squad spawns. So you actually, FaZe spawned in the back right next to him. of all spawns to get, and well, now the quad spawns come through, so shout out to Gavutu for the mixiness of those spawns, but that is the opportunity that Ravens needed to get back into this game. It'll take a spawn and a half for them to get it, but they broke through on P5 and still slowly working on taking care of that lead.
It's Simp and Arcitys, man, doing such an amazing job in terms of the kills department. Nasty now on point, gets brought down by Cell's nade. It's just non-stop. 30 seconds remaining on the point. You're going to see FaZe back in control of this one, and they are doing a masterful job of keeping the Ravens off point, maintaining the time as best they can themselves. Chance is an absolute clinic so far. Ravens back on the point. 20 seconds to be had. Dare I say, not an easy thing to hold.
No, not an easy thing to hold at all, but P5 is certainly where they need to get that turnaround, and a couple seconds as well. They should be able to get that scrap time, but Miles, P1 is the hill where Ravens had that big advantage, but you can see Atlanta, they're set up there first.
Indeed, Atlanta now with a decent lead set up over towards P1 here in the second set. Let's go for a listen in with Atlanta FaZe.
Watch out, get the other side.
It's all good, all good, all good, all good.
I'm
Top build, they're gonna push up our side, they're gonna push up our side.
I don't see him where you tank.
Nasty on a 5, Nasty on a 5, he's the one that killed me top building.
Got mini. Archer, help. I don't see him. Tank got me.
Yo, he's our
Tank,
tank.
in the tank is yeah.
Where's he? Afro one charge side, I got two.
In the tank,
He killed me off time.
he's on a 3 or 4. Yeah, our tank.
We're
Top tower.
He's on a 5 now, good job. He's on a
I'm
5.
trying to wait for you guys. We gotta shot. I'm hitting mid.
Let's go fast.
Their side, one weak. Their side here. Destroy the top in the corner. Last one guy out. Yeah, right there.
I got my straight.
Let's use scrap.
IDP.
You talk good. We're missing Afro again. Probably a green. I spawned.
I'm holding bottom boat. They could be jumped out from in.
Yo, I did one new. One
Guess what that tower?
Alright, nice. Last one new for sure. I flipped.
Okay. I'm pitching short.
I'm fighting top fast, okay.
Yeah, go for it. I'm
Top. Top 3 spot. We're like,
I'm short. Come down on time. Help me.
Nice.
Alec, I'm getting.
Jump down.
Punch him. You push. When you push, if you can.
Push down, I'm on a 5.
Good time.
I did.
Nice.
Clean comms out of FaZe. Arcitys on one hell of a spree right now. Another 6 for him. Let's dive on the other side of the pond and go for a quick listening now with the London Royal Ravens.
Listen, take time. I'll show me broken. One second, bro. No, cliff.
I'm pushing Mel.
On the boat. eBeZy, very weak.
Pushing out. Yep, chill.
Go try, Simp, dead one with boat.
Tank again, Arcitys.
Tank, guys. Arcitys mid-tank.
Mid-tank, dead, get time.
3, let's go. Let's go.
Where?
Dead.
Get
to the right. Get you on.
I'm
push one with tank. I'm trying to help you, Matt. I'm trying to help you here, Joe. I'll get you mid-stairs, okay, Joe? Yeah, I'm trying to share side. What's that side of me?
Oh, dead. I'm rolled. You're missing one new.
He's dead.
Hey, last guy old.
Is that him old?
Yeah, he's old. He killed me.
Focus on back.
I have the back, but you can. I'll try hold everything.
I got you. Shoot me that side. I need help, Trey. I can't really help you, bro. Let's shoot that side. Simple someone else. All three.
Kill the beastie.
3. Get telling me I need help. You're good.
Beastie's cutting from mid somewhere.
No.
Okay, there he is. Steady. I need a close push.
Most time gun, I'm fucking rotating already.
On the rock cell, I didn't hit him.
Chance, what do we make of the comms? A valiant comeback attempt now from the Ravens, but it's just streaks on streaks from Arcitys.
I mean, yeah, there is no explanation other than the fact that Arcitys has been dominating as the FaZe are winning this game. And even still, it is an interesting moment because there's always comeback potential if you can chain a couple of hills together. But Ravens now in a spot where they almost have to do what FaZe does on this P4 hill. They're going to have to try to set up that spawn trap. That way they can win the rotation in P5, but that is easier said than done. A long way to go, and Simp through the back might try to ruin the entire thing. Doesn't even block the spawns though on Gavutu. It's almost undoable, so at least Ravens get there early, but they also want to avoid being spawn trapped because this is where FaZe, they can run the show.
Yeah, they're going to do what they can and now breaking through the front, keep the members of the Ravens pinned on that left-hand side of the minimap. But here we go now from the front. It's going to be Afro, 12 and 18 for him so far in the matchup's been an absolute blinder versus Atlanta FaZe. Cell, he's going to get the opening kill. Gizmo push back. Arcitys once again a Titan here on Gavutu, and there it is. The noose is around the neck of the Ravens here. There's 30 seconds on this point. They are pinned in. This is not the spot they want to be in. Oh, it's getting ugly. It's 3 from aBeZy. There's 20 seconds remaining now, and they're going to keep them trapped in there. You're going to have number 5 is going to be Cell. At one point, it's going to gingerly tiptoe across mid-map, go through boat. Oh, no worries, mate. aBeZy's already spawned towards next. An unbelievable setup from Atlanta FaZe. Surely a map 1 win going their way in a moment.
Yeah, no, that is the Atlanta FaZe blunder. They love to set up on this hill. They just have to bully their way through the front. And again, I mean, that is as GG can get. 20 seconds left before FaZe wins this one. And just looking at the spawns that London has, I mean, it is a hike and a half across the map. And they don't have Marathon Pro, and they can't even get past the AR. Cellium taken down 2. Maybe a last-ditch effort of a hero play from Afro. And admittedly, maybe able to make things mixy, but he gets taken down, and feels like almost an inevitability that FaZe will win this game. Arcitys simply too powerful to kick this series off.
It's a few moments for the win now as aBeZy battling atop the point. Last ditch attempt now from the Ravens to stay alive here in GvU2, but it may be all for naught, as again, the might of Atlanta FaZe has surely come down like a full hammer atop their heads here in the opening map. Still, we're keeping the kills going. For now, chance it's all good. There's 10 seconds on the point remaining. I mean, it's going to have to be something unbelievable right now at the Ravens, but this map, dare I say it, is not quite over yet.
Well, no, that'll be taking care of business. Maybe a couple flankers. No, Miles. Unless Nasty pop 3, it is GG. And FaZe on the rotation, make sure they are nice and secure. I mean, it would have taken some wild stuff for London to get back through, but that is game 1, and that is Arcitys, just a masterclass to drag his team to the victory. I mean, 2 separate glide bombs that it earned at different sections of the game, and I mean, hey, they just had too big of a lead too early on, right? Like a 110 to like 20 stat line along those lines. It's a good map for Ravens, but right there for game number 1, just a better one for Arcitys.
Unbelievable. Warrior blood truly flows through the veins of Arcitys. That was a ridiculous opener again from him. 40 and 22. Massive amounts of damage across the board. He seemingly could not lose an individual gunfight. Surely he was his full health. A true titan on GvU2. What an opener there from Atlanta FaZe, and what surely will be a long and wonderful series. But damn! I mean, really, Charles, look at the highlights across this one. It was all FaZe. It was all Arcitys.
And I also know a 40 bomb for GvU2. I'm not sure if that's the record, but that is definitely one of the finer performances we have seen on this map. And it really is, for me, shades of the Major. I remember Arcitys, he's normally that main AR because he's got the guys in front of him collecting all the kills, where he'll drop, you know, the 0.95, go even for the KD, and he will do his job and take those routes. But after in Major 1, when they lost their first series, he woke up the next day, chose violence, and just started taking over games. Well, here to kick off stage 2, Atlanta FaZe, they lose to Seattle, and it looks like Arcitys doing the exact same thing again, just making sure, hey, ain't no way in hell we're gonna lose 2 in a row. And I mean, that was the second 7th spree that he was just on, and I mean, literally just lighting up the kill feed nonstop. And maybe the only opportunity for London to like try to get back into the game would have been that P4, but Atlanta FaZe also able to get that spawn trap set up going, and I mean, that is simply where they are at their best.
Truly. Across the highlights again, this is the final few moments of that opening hard point. Well, I think just like coming into maybe the 3rd or 4th point, Cellium had like 3 kills. We couldn't do anything other than just, you know, like try to play the fundamentals, which he did, obviously empowering the rest of the squad to find their success. But man alive, what an opener it was for Atlanta FaZe. Again, a lot of picks either side, quite a divided analyst desk, and of course, divided fans, I think, when it comes to who's going to walk away with a win. Either way, though, 251.94, the opening hardpoint in GvU2 is done. Røkkr, Search and Destroy will be our next map, of course, GvU2 Tuscan, and a Desert Siege for the showdown in the final map. We have to go the distance here, and I hope we do, frankly, mate. This could be a lot of fun, but Røkkr, Search and Destroy, coming up in a brief moment. But aBeZy runs away and might hit the restroom. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but here he is. He's back. He's ready to rock and roll. Looking at our top performers when it comes to Search and Destroy chance, both teams bound to have great statistics either side, but there is one who is certainly stronger than the other.
Well, yeah, Cellium, #1 overall S&D KD across the entire league. And that number, actually, he has taken quite a hit. He had like above a 2 for the longest time. So if anything, you could say that Cellium has slowed down a little bit, but completely absurd performance. And, you know, speaking of like Desert Siege, you wanted that. It went round 11 between these teams last time, but that is also a map where Cellium has the #1 overall KD, where he's getting like 31% of his team kills. So Cellium, absolutely a menace, a guy to pay attention to. And Nasty on the flip side, I think one of the guys leading the show on Bocage for Ravens yesterday, where I mean, they just had hyper aggressive strats almost every single round, just flying at their opponent. I don't know if they'll be able to replicate that same level of success against FaZe, or if they will even attempt those same sort of strats, but I mean, hey, maybe somewhat of a comfort pick As far as this series go, Bocage again for FaZe. We just haven't seen them on it in quite some time. It isn't their auto veto, though. It's their main ban that they have, but they only done it like 45% of the time. So they've been letting it through for more than half their series. No team has been willing to pick it against them, though. So Ravens the first one to give the old college try.
I mean, they'll man up and square up against one of the finest in the league, and I'm excited to see how it goes down. Of course, Bocage, Search and Destroy on the horizon, friends. We'll get to that in just a moment. But, mate, an interesting opener. I think Ravens, we saw a unparalleled level of success on Gavutu when they had Paulex in the roster. Of course, Gizmo now back. We hope everything's well with his family. We hope everything's well with his health as well. But it's going to be interesting, as we touched upon this, briefly, of course, when we saw them play last. Getting Gizmo back in the swing of things. He looks like he's having a ton of fun. But as far as the team's, chemistry, getting really back into the literal flight is a difficult thing to do, and especially at this level, especially with, this tight schedule that we're running right now with the league, you don't have a tremendous amount of time to get that practice in and get things going, as fast as you like. Other teams, of course, not having to take a break, not having to have any sort of hiccups, they can just continue to keep going, business as usual. But do you really think it's a big deal chance, Ravens starting to have to get, hit the runway running and try to catch flight again?
Well, certainly not easy. And again, you listed a bunch of confounding factors that absolutely have a play. And I think just to add to it, the fact that now he has to shoot against an Arcitys that apparently has that hot hand, absolutely. This team will constantly have their work cut out for him. And I think you're right in Gizmo being sort of that main focal point for the team, because obviously the ARs on the flip side are frying, especially on some of these maps that they have. We got double Gavutu in this series. It can be a struggle point. And even for the map for Tuscan, I think funnily enough, Arcitys has a top 5 KD in the game on that map, Tuscan hardpoint. Gizmo on the flip side, I think he's bottom 6. So he's been struggling in that regard. And obviously he's had a couple pop-off moments, especially yesterday, the 5 spree he went on to sort of seal the deal and in the game to get his team that win. But certainly he is the individual that I have my eyes on in this series.
We'll see. Almost ready to get into Bocage, friends. Lobby issues. You know the deal. Everyone on FaZe looking very calm and collected indeed. Cellium, slow start in that. Gavutu didn't necessarily have to find a lot of kills. Not a lot of kills to find when Arcitys was truly feasting upon his opponents. And, the rest of the team just having to play their roles very well. And that's one thing that FaZe does do fantastically. Again, the nature of the roster, the nature of the beast. 4 incredibly talented individual players at any given moment can take over the map. If everyone else plays their role, you are looking at a very, very formidable opponent. Get your cameras ready, boys. Here we go into Bocage. Another Search and Destroy here. Map number 2 in our first series of the day. It is bound to be a fun one, Chance. Here we go.
It'll be just interesting to see exactly what strats Ravens are going to try to cook up, right? Because we saw a lot of Astro, Nasty, and Gizmo, all 3 of them just running amok inside of Grandma's, making it as mixy as possible. And they were having themselves a grand old time as Zero just got to post up and be sort of that island player, even on a small map like this. So they want to go for those confident strats. We'll see what Atlanta is prepared for. Ravens hyper aggressive down river, but look at the homework. It is done. Arcitys and Simp there to take literally all of them down. GG, round 1 in the books. And that is a strat Ravens did yesterday on defense more than one time. I think FaZe might have been prepared.
LOL WTF, I think springs to mind, but it's all smiles from aBeZy. They must be feeling very clever, feeling very proud of themselves to have done the homework that well and having seen it execute so perfectly. Strat play number 1 from the Ravens fails. Shoes on the other foot now, and then FaZe got by 1 round. Let's see what they now bring on defense. Ravens bombs in hand. Here we go, right into the fray. Will it be another aggressive hit? And it does look to be a bit of a speedy one over towards B. Gizmo on your screen. Nasty with the bomb in hand, and they've been slowed down somewhat.
And I think Simp maybe the player with the most pressure on him right now. That looks like the coordination of the nades. I think that might be slightly off the mark, and Simp able to stay alive. So they're just going to be wrapping out even with the pressure on Simp, but they are turning their attention to Grandma's, and well, aBeZy there for the first blood, but he does get traded.
Looking for the breach now right through the middle of the map, and it's going to be at least 1 trade either side, so it makes it a 3v3. Arcitys now on the prowl, looking to maybe catch a player out. Checks a corner, should be able to get the bomb carry as well, does. Ooh, Zero's last player left alive now, 1v3. He's out in a completely different section of the map, so for now, he may be able to slowly but surely creep his way forward. Cellium posted up towards the back. You know he's going to be there. For Zero now, the waiting game is on. 1v3 against a team like this, no easy feat. But we'll give him a shot. There's the first few shots. The FaZe reshuffle. An impossible task it was. Atlanta FaZe 2-0.
And just good work inside of Grandma's, right? We know that's how London like to sort of play it, get aggressive, but Arcitys there with just fantastic timing, right? He finds that one opening and honestly plays it a little bit slow, but that's because slow was the way to perfectly play it. So Arcitys there to make the big play. You had Cellium over towards the back just to watch the wide angle, and he's that first player to spot out Zero. So taking care of business, nothing too crazy. And I think Cellium, we talk about how good his KD is. He is very much a player in Search and Destroy that will play like very specific spots and just do it better than everybody else.
Everyone else has to sort of take notes from the get-go. Ravens once again on defense. This time again, it's going to be a first blood going the way of Atlanta FaZe. Not quite as decisive as the last round, which was basically a first down, all down. But aBeZy's managed to make his way through the back. Now the back lines of the Ravens are starting to fumble. They're falling to pieces. The B-bomb site wide open. Here comes the plant from Arcitys. Can Simp find another one and make it 5-0? He's hot on the heels of Afro for now. This 2v4 continues, Chance.
Well, I mean, again, you just have all the coverage, right? You got a player up in the tower. You try to slip through. Even after they take Arcitys down, if they take Arcitys down, you saw aBeZy there in the background flying from the top rope. Too good of a setup, too clean. And in a 4v2, Atlanta FaZe not going to make a mistake there. And I think really that entire round off the back of aBeZy, right? Flies in, gets the first blood, hits a nice little route through a tunnel, reflanks Zero, finds the next one for free. And I mean, Atlanta FaZe, we haven't seen them on this map, at least not for Search and Destroy very often. I don't know if this is surprising to anyone, but they look good.
They do look good. And we ain't talking about fresh haircuts or the drip or nothing. Don't forget, Call of Duty League shop. Get yourself a hoodie. Ali was going on about the FaZe ones. I'm not going to lie. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. A lot of truth says here on the league today. Here we go. aBeZy, though. He's close on the bomb site. Gives him a right through the window, right into his jaws. Chomps him alive. Feasts. Oh, God damn it. aBeZy with 2. Afro's toast as well. Simp's on a 5 now. Nasty in the 1v4. This is an unbelievable performance out of FaZe. No prisoners once again. Atlanta FaZe taking them to task on Bocage.
Miles, we are 4 rounds in, and there are 3 players on the Ravens that currently have a donut. They have 1 combined kill as a team, and it was a trade on aBeZy after aBeZy still managed to get the first blood. This is the tiny tear. I will do my push-ups. Just putting in the work. Quite a few first bloods, a clinical and easy game. He picks up the 2-piece. And I mean, again, this was seemingly on paper, best case scenario as far as the map set goes for London to try to get away with the victory until you look at the scoreboard and it just, I mean, pain is all I see.
There is no option now. The air being forced out of the lungs of the Ravens. Nasty, though. A first blood.
Their second kill.
A different look indeed. Will this be the start of something special? Afro finding himself a second as well. Oh, the clearing of top barn, not complete yet, but the trade's on point. Arcitys now in a very different look in this 1v3, and he is truly pinned. And here come the Ravens. They get on the board.
There you go. Nice little strat, like triple hitting out over towards like the field / P2 side of the map, and smiles maybe a little bit just to get that breathing room to get the ball rolling. I mean, potentially this is just how Bocage S&D plays, right? We saw yesterday Ravens, they went up 5-0 and then they lost 3 in a row. So maybe a map of runs as that momentum can shift quickly. So Ravens maybe trying to fight back in it. And at the very least, getting a couple players off that donut cam is always nice. Admittedly, Gizmo still there.
Happens on the cage. An aggressive hit now from the Ravens, straight through the middle of the map. You've got all corners covered now from Atlanta FaZe. Simp with the first blood. Nasty straight onto the bomb site. Quick plant now. Atlanta FaZe with a reshuffle for a brief moment. Gizmo stays on the donut as the kills now come to a close. It's going to be a 2v3 situation now. Ravens, no, in the post-plant position. All falls to Nasty now. Atlanta FaZe, 3 players up. Looking to get on the bomb, and Nasty may be able to check this. Simp's going for the quick defuse. Great spot. That's going to be 1 down for now. On the 4 spree. Here come FaZe. Cellium with the kill. It is over.
Not even close. Again, just a perfect retake, perfect setup, and Simp is making moves. I mean, funnily enough, we've seen actually Arcitys been the guy rocking the MP40, Simple Blade back out with the automaton. And obviously, it's not like we ever have that information going into the series, but it's a little bit different. And what we saw Simp do that round, finds the first blood, has a nice angle. I think he picked the guy top barn. It might have been gate, but he also saw a couple players pushing through that mid alley. He goes for a very fast rat back and catches a player trying to go up top Grandma. So aggression is the key, even on the defensive end. And FaZe right there, just a little bit quicker.
Map point, Atlanta FaZe. 1 more rounds all they need. Ravens defense, a different look has to be seen this time as this FaZe all steam ahead through mid-map. They've blown the doors wide open in Grandma's. aBeZy's hurt. 16 HP as the Lethals and Tacticals now finally come to a close, and it is explosions all over the place here. Glide bomb now invested from Simp. No one put cold-blooded on. It hits the backside of Granny's. Doesn't do a whole lot though. Now the Ravens able to maybe make a move, but you know, under the cover of the glide bomb, they made the hit towards the bomb site. Arcitys with the MP40 in that close angle. Afro on the other side. You take your time, you take your chances. Here we go. Waiting for the slide. Waiting for his teammates to show up. War gets one. There's the trades coming through. Chance once again. It's a 2v2.
2v2, but aBeZy's flying. Oh, nice angle from Zero just to catch the top of his head, but you got to read the flank. Zero's here like a book, and he leaves him one shot. But Simp is able to get away, but I heard bullets ring out, so Simp got spotted on the cross. He's trapped in the back, and he tries to make the move, and I think that was nasty there to catch him. Whatever the case may be, just getting Simp weak in that back line. Nice plays from Trey Zero to make things easy. And it was actually Gizmo, excuse me, able to get towards that tank. But, I mean, that's efficient work. If it's not for Zero in that gunfight, getting a couple shots in, I mean, Simp could have easily just gone towards out. Would have been a little bit safer. But nice little round, as dicey as it got. A couple little things going their way off the back of Trey Zero. But they're not out of this game yet.
Good job again from the Ravens to stay alive. How many more lives does that cat have? Heavy stack on the A defense now out of aBeZy. He's going to be the first blood. Again, Simp's there to pick it up. Gizmo looking to find anything here. Is nasty with that bomb is trapped. Truly in a corner here. Not moving, not making any noise. He's now the one man up, and this is it. It is over for the Ravens here in Bocage. Where does he go? There are members of FaZe in every single possible spot here. He manages to catch one. Another 1v3. Can Nasty do this? He's been a highlight reel at times, but this has to be something truly special, and special is not what you're getting on this Saturday, friends. Unless, of course, you're Atlanta FaZe 2-0 up in the series.
Well, I mean, this is simply a statement game, is what it looks like. Now flexing the map full of just like, in case you haven't seen our Bocage S&D, just so you know, it's as good as any other map that this team has in their repertoire. Even for that final round, I imagine the comms for the Ravens were like, how the hell did aBeZy get behind us? And by the time you could talk about aBeZy, Simp is right there, not behind him, but off to the side. And I mean, just a swarm, a trap, a devastating performance. I mean, at least a couple players on the Ravens able to get away from the donut that they had, but not a good stat line. 4 players negative for the Ravens, a dominant performance for Atlanta. And that's with Simp using the automaton pretty much from start to finish, on top of the fact that aBeZy reigning as the first Blood King.
Unbelievable work out of FaZe from start to finish. 11-3 in the end there from Simp. Again, looking at the scoreline thus far in the series, Lordy, let me tell you, it might turn around here. We may see a Ravens map win, but it's just been a back-breaking experience. I wonder how much more mental resolve they've got in terms of the, the game plan. This is going to be so hard to come back from for the Ravens. FaZe chance. We also, I mean, I joked about it at the start of stage 2, saying that we should see Atlanta FaZe 2.0 here, because after they take a loss, typically FaZe come back stronger than ever. This is it. We're starting to see the makings of truly something special. Before you get your point out, let's just go to a break, baby. We got Gavutu controlling the other side of it. Sorry, man.
All right, Joe.
I'm in the game like EA. Been in my practice pre-K. Shooting my shot from long range. Going over heads a good 2-day. Treat every day like payday. Y'all been living so mundane. My work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day. Putting in overtime, punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine. While everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams. I got a coin that's so divine. Lord, take the wheel like 10 and 2. I'm losing energy, I'm overdue. I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pose. Watch me hit the power moves. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Been here, done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Been here, we done that. We done that. You all know what we came for. You all know what we came for. We been here, we done that. We done that. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, energy. Done that. You all know what we came for. Energy, 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 energy. I need that energy, energy.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Atlanta FaZe running the show here in our opening series of the day, and it has been an absolute treat for the FaZe fans. For the Ravens fans, not so much. That Bocage Search and Destroy was an absolute bloodbath. Chance, how we doing, mate? Again, looking across the board. Controls coming up next. It's not going to be an easy one for either team, but man, FaZe right now, a little too something special.
It does seem to be. We might be staring down the barrel of a 3-0 from Atlanta FaZe. Again, they like sort of experimented with the maps a little bit from Seattle, right? We've only seen them play Berlin Hardpoint twice. Against Seattle was the second time. So this is a team that in the pick and bans, they're willing to take a few risks. And I think even today we saw that. Maybe the Bocage S&D was a bit of a risk, but they've taken care of business, right? Like one of the main factors for London's success on the Gavutu Hardpoint is that P1 hill. Arcitys did everything by himself. What we saw from London on Bocage S&D yesterday, one thing they like to do on defense, try to like bully out that riverside, let Afro make plays. literally right from round one, Atlanta FaZe completely shut that down. Now we go to a Kavutu control, where obviously a great map for London. They won the coin flip, so they picked it. But one of the main reasons they have success on the map is when Zero gets pushed up to B on offense, he'll do it like straight away. He will solo cap this point. He will spend all the time in the world over in that area. And I think that's one of the main things that London has really been able to sort of bank on. At this point, I kind of expect Atlanta FaZe just to shut that down completely. Like, that has been the theme of the day so far. So, I mean, I'll be looking through that once again. But obviously, you can see, at least for the map records, I mean, it's a favored map for Ravens, technically.
Well, we can take the stats and technicalities, throw them right out the window, because Atlanta FaZe, the form right now is a little too something crazy, something strong, something terrifying. Gizmo is completely unaware. Oh, okay, aBeZy does get stunned. I thought he was going to be shot in the back there, guaranteed. But off the rip now, it's a little slower hit from both teams. Zero keeps that backside of B all clean. Front side of A now sweet and safe as well. And this is a nice look out of the Ravens right off. We'll see if they can hold it all together. Cellium now preeming up. Gives, ooh, nice shots from once again. Now to Simp, the automaton in hand, looking like a natural.
And just look at where they're going off spawn, by the way. Atlanta FaZe, as soon as they spawn up, they are just double stacking ring. That's the name of the game, trying to shut Zero down, and Arcitys there to take care of business. And if you just don't allow them to do this, especially if you get to set up a spawn trap, I don't know where London have success. And now the spawn trap well and truly in. Maybe just about. You still get aBeZy in that sort of prime position where you can just funnel these players towards the cliffside time and time again. And hey, maybe Gizmo picking up a big 2. Trying to open things up for the team, but obviously aBeZy behind enemy lines.
2-man stack now on top of 8. Fast cap in this one for London. That's going to be the first segment gone. Second's on its way out now, but aBeZy in from behind. This is going to really ruffle the feathers of the Ravens now. Still keeping the capture alive. 37 seconds on the clock. If aBeZy can get a kill, no, he cannot. As the Ravens make safe A.
Hey, look at this again. Simp's back in this exact same spot. aBeZy's done it. Arcitys has done it. They are literally taking turns. This is like a chain system that they have. Ignore the A side of the map, funnel out towards B, get that P1 control, and get someone pushed out. Like, they don't care which player it is with that setup, but FaZe clearly have a very specific game plan in mind. Even number 5, Cellium trying to push up just a little bit, but maybe he gets caught off guard, and maybe a moment for Gizmo to take that P1 control, and somewhat of an opening for Ravens just to get that B approach started.
You still have to worry about aBeZy. He makes it to the top ring. He finally taken care of, and now we have a 2-man hit through that P1 side of the map, through top ring. Cellium's going to be the lone defender now with a little bit of help from Arcitys over his shoulder. Nades are good. Shots are good. Ravens make it through. Zero unable to get any more out of that play. And already Atlanta FaZe on defense looking to fan out and take the middle of the map. We stop the clock at 1 minute on the dot, and it is only Nasty capturing B.
And I think FaZe might be sort of waiting to try to get P1 control as well. That's what we see aBeZy number 7 doing. Or maybe they're going for the full rat back, but keep in mind, number 4, he's going for the full flank, and it is a standoff inside the hill. Neither player taking the bait. Nasty makes that first move, gets the timing, and Ravens, they get all the kills.
They get the trades as well. So Zero's coverage from deep beach is going to keep the play alive, still keeping the capture going. Halfway through the second segment of B, now we go. aBeZy looking to get involved, can't get it done. Sliding forward, covering fire from all across the beach right now as the Ravens, one segment at a time, capture B. They've got one more to hold here. This is huge. Looking for the 2-man stack potentially as Gizmo looking to drive the dagger. Slowly but surely, they're getting the job done. FaZe may just chalk this one up and call it, and I think they will with the remaining 4 lives. The Ravens have pulled out something brilliant here. Despite the opening efforts from FaZe, they take the first round.
I completely nutty, man. I mean, Ravens best like offensive team on this map in the game, or at the very least, like just their approach towards B. They have one opportunity really to make it happen, or not even one opportunity, but just as soon as they get there, they never let it go. As soon as they get the clearance, get a man on point, they play it perfectly. They run them over in lives. And I think for me, the moment of the round is just Cellium. When he was on the rock, pushed out past P1, where he was just looking behind him up towards ring and sort of gives away a free kill. And as soon as they lost that control, they never got it back. But FaZe, an 8% win rate on this map for attacking round. They're trying to be a little bit fancy. It's a B hit off the rip.
They're wearing their fancy socks and they're in, baby. They've made it all the way to be fast. Now, they still have some pressure towards A, so if this play doesn't quite work out, you always have that to fall back on. But here we go. Counterattack now from the Ravens. Trying to clear out the point. aBeZy's going to be there. That's the tags. Not an easy thing to do, even with FMJ. Zero now. With a covering fire, Afro goes in, cleans point. Nasty's there with a 2-piece. A, though, now for FaZe. That's the focal point of attack. Oh, and it's been done. Taken care of by Gizmo. Here comes the pressure from the Ravens.
I think honestly a mistake from FaZe just not to like quad stack that. Like if you're gonna go for B, you better make it happen. But they only send 3, end up getting picked apart, and now you just have 0 map control. Maybe try to funnel in through Beach, but I mean you're already down what? I think it was maybe 10, 12 lives after round 1. I mean, you need some sort of a miracle in this round to try to make the comeback, and they're being forced over towards the beach side of the map. But you see number 1 and number 2 on your minimap. Zero and Nasty working together. They got the crossfire set up if FaZe even want to attempt to go to B.
Here we go. Still, slowly but surely through the middle of the map, we now, Tyracle is going to be Arcitys, 30 seconds on the clock. Stops it, dead in its tracks. They've taken care of the Ravens members now over towards A, so that's it. You've got 1 member defending the B side. The 3 players now over towards A should be able to get this capture done. It's going to be slow. It's going to be steady as aBeZy keeps the line held there over by A. Or sorry, over by B. That ring side of the map, all safe and sound. And he's doing a bit of a do-si-do here with Nasty. Clocks now open up. FaZe have to get back on it. They lose a ring control. They've got to now try to make something happen fast. And it's on Simp to try to keep the play alive while his teammates get on the point.
London can flood though. London can flood, and that's a big win from Afro on his way in. And now if you're Arcitys, too many things you need to worry about. They can come in through the hole in the wall, just start thinking test. They can't challenge from tank anymore, but you see they can test for a moment. aBeZy's trying to do a dance just to stay alive, but Ravens have 2 players on the boat. It is still, the clock is stopped. That's because Cellium, he's over by B, doing his best 0 impression and dancing with them. Staying alive, regens up, gets the beat down, and FaZe still an opportunity to win this round.
The pistol whip. Oh, Nasty finally landing it with the shots there and the nade from Zero to clean him up. 1 minute 19 on the clock, though, as we say goodbye to A. Zero trying to make the middle of the map all his. Nasty over by B. Big shots. Not enough to take care of Simp as well. Here comes Zero now to try to get rid of that pressure towards ringside. Atlanta FaZe flooding through both sides of the map as well. So you take care of 1 player, you got a couple more to deal with. But the life count, relatively even hit chance. We've got an interesting hit towards B for sure.
And I love the way Zero's playing it too. Just incredibly patient, doesn't throw away his life, waits for the gunfights to come to him. And meanwhile, Afro in a tough spot because Sim's got him pinned down, and well, he is going to fall. And now for Gizmo and Zero, the pressure's on. Zero gets 2 off the cross whenever you need him to deliver. He's able to pull up, and even Cellium towards the middle of the map is going to fall. 35 seconds left, but right now for Ravens, looking pretty clean on defense.
They're doing a good job. That's 30 seconds remaining, and it's 10 lives either side. Big wins on the boat side there, once again from Afro. That's with the right hand over towards boat, keeps it all safe. Here comes the pressure now from FaZe through beach side. aBeZy automaton in hand, cut down Nasty. Once again, the Ravens coverage so strong here. 50 seconds remaining. Ooh, Afro's on the flank. That's going to be the first. Trying to now dig the dagger deeper into the back of Atlanta FaZe, and that is going to be it. Surely no one gets closer. Big kill out of Afro. That's going to be mid-map covered. The round is done. The life count still in the hands of the Ravens. And wow, Atlanta FaZe, it took a lot to get there, but in the end, just not enough. They go down 0-2 here in control.
Yeah, and again, I was sort of expecting FaZe maybe to have something cooked up on Gavutu, but as interesting as their opening break was, I just don't know if I like the fact that they only send 3 that direction. I think they left someone like over towards the boat. And I understand you never want to like completely give up map control, because if you end up falling and stuck in a spawn trap, it's as brutal gets in Vanguard. But at the same time, I mean, you throw that like sort of idea out for the opening break, have no success, and well, Atlanta FaZe still with only an 8% win rate on their attacking rounds. London, though, much better, one of the best in the league. They send 4 this direction. A couple trades early on, but still working on that slow approach towards B. But obviously, you lose that P1 control, makes it impossible as Arcitys able to deliver and picks them apart.
Can Arcitys hold it for... Whoa! Yeah, he can. A massive win from him. Ringside safe. Boat side safe. And here comes the pincer. Desperately now trying to fight out their spawn is going to be the Ravens. Atlanta FaZe, slowly but surely, encroaching closer towards what should be a defensive round victory for them. The kills now working out in their favor. 22 lives Ravens, 27 lives Atlanta FaZe as they continue to close their hands around the neck of the Ravens, pinned in their spawn. No one's getting out without at least a couple of shots, at least a couple of tags, and even then, information's being passed out, man. Nasty wins a good one. That's one side of the map open. Can they make their way through boat? No. aBeZy is there, and aBeZy is lined them up. How many more can he get? Answer is none, chance, but the time is not on the side of the Ravens.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make a difference for them, though, right? There is 0 motivation for them to put any pressure on the map. They can purely play team deathmatch, and they might be down 5 in this round, but I think the previous 2, I mean, they're still going to be up, what? I mean, almost off the back of Afro alone, because he's +7, but pretty clean across the board, have a 9 or 10 life advantage. Doesn't matter if you get bullied out in this round, they still overall have that advantage. And the pressure and the onus still on Atlanta FaZe. Need to convert an offensive round, and honestly need to do it in somewhat of a dominant fashion, or else they're going to be looking at back-to-back offenses that they need to win.
Again, for now, we haven't quite made the full changeover towards segment captures being the decider for game or round 5. So at this moment in time, Ravens winning that offensive round. They have the segment win, they have the kills in their favor, and now Atlanta FaZe last-ditch attempt here in the control map to try to turn things around. Arcitys going deep beach all the way, sees a little Zero way off in the distance. Nades are up. 3 members of the Ravens on defense over towards A. Zero's all alone, and he's soon to be in a lot of trouble as the damage is coming through. Chance Ravens have won the battle over towards boat. Big win out of Zero alone without the help of his comrades, and now he's going to keep the boat safe. Keep the beach safe. Gizmo's got ring coverage as well. Ravens spring right back to life.
Yeah, just hopeless from Atlanta FaZe in that moment. You have to win the gunfight against Zero inside the hill, and maybe took a little bit too long to even go for the setup, because as soon as Ravens swarmed back on in, well, now you see the map control that they have and the setup across the board. Lift covered, you got a player out beach, and I mean, welcome to the blender. Maybe a couple big ones get one, and Zero gets taken down, so hey, they open it up, but still only 30 seconds on the clock. Cellium, the front man for the team.
It's a full open lane now. They make their way all the way towards B. Less than 30 seconds to get this job done. Live count trickling out. Cell cut down. Up to Simp next. Can he make something special happen? The Wonder Kid finds his first kill. Arcitys gets another one. This could be the opening they need to get on a B. No, Zero's there once again. Another 2-piece for him as Trey Morris laying down the shots for the Automaton. You still have this open lane to deal with now for FaZe. They can keep funneling towards B. Less than 10 seconds to go. You've got to get on the point, boys. No, Zero locks him down once again, and that is it. 5.7 on the clock towards A. Finally, Cellium makes his way forward. You still have Ravens defenders here, though. It's going to be nasty in position. And now you're lining up. You're off the point for a second. Back on it, 3.9 chance. FaZe last-ditch attempt. It's not over yet.
Very kind of you to say it's not over yet. I mean, this is as chalk as chalk gets. Even if they can cap this 8 point, I mean, hey, that's great, but not enough time in my mind on the clock. You only got 13 lives left, and they have to be perfect in a situation where Zero has been untouchable over towards B. I mean, offense, defense, doesn't matter. That is genuinely Zero's home. Nasty up top, able to pick up a big 2, and that'll take care of business. Gavutu control, Ravens 2 clean, and Miles, I know that game might have been, 12, 13 minutes. The only moment that mattered is when Atlanta FaZe had the setup. When Cellium's on the rock, they had a player P1, and they had someone over on B on defense, and, well, they just got ran over. You give up the control for a moment for the Ravens to, work that B site. They're just perfect in that regard. You get one offensive round win. That's pretty much all you need. So one moment of a game for a game that lasted 10 minutes long, and Ravens able to secure that one without breaking a sweat.
Ravens run the show on Gavutu control, and there it is. You were not wrong, brother. I mean, Chance, there's always hope. Come on, mate. There's always hope.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Not on this map.
Yeah, maybe not on Gav. Hey, we've seen it happen at the majors. But highlights across the board. Very, very strong showing from the Ravens again. Across the kills department. Offensive rounds looking very clean indeed. The A-B captures were theirs as well. I mean, FaZe are a team that truly learn from their mistakes, and they learn from their losses. So for FaZe fans out there, you're looking at Control and Gavutu now, and you're like, all right, cool. Well, it was like this. We saw a moment where it was definitely going to work out. A couple of nice hits maybe didn't amount to too much, but hey, give them time. They will crack the code on this one. They will download the exact strat they need. But it was strong showings out of the Ravens there on Gavutu.
I mean, it's almost just the same sort of storyline for Ravens that we saw yesterday. Just unbelievable team when it comes to this B site on both offense and defense. And they really are just incredibly efficient, as once they actually get players towards B, they never let it go. There's always someone in P1 that's able to watch over your back. Afro is timing his flanks perfectly when he needs to come to help for the mid cut, and they really are just a well-oiled machine. And in spite of the fact that they're one of the best teams on offense on that map, I think they still only have a 34% offensive win rate. So I think that's just the way Gavutu goes, especially when it comes down to kills. It's just the way the map is going to be influenced. So standard stuff there for the Ravens, trying to bounce back in this series. But this is the bigger problem. When we talked about how the maps and modes look great for them, it's because the first 2 maps, I thought they had a pretty good chance. The Tuscan is looking real rough, though, because, again, as stated before, this is a map Arcitys loves to play on. Top 5 KD on this map, and Gizmo on the flip side, he is bottom 6 on Tuscan hard point. Now, obviously, Ravens, if they get to the Desert Siege, they're not going to shy away from it, undefeated on the map. played against FaZe, beat him in the round 11, but Tuscan hardpoint, that's a lot of pressure to have to take Atlanta down.
We'll see. And if you're saying Arcitys has got a strong KD on this map anyway, looking how he's playing today, I mean, I'd be saying your prayers if I were the Ravens fans. But we will see, again, as anything can and will happen here in the Call of Duty League, as we are almost ready to get into our Tuscan hardpoint. Next up here in the series, we're going a little bit longer than a lot of fans thought we would after that GvU2 control. Charles, what do you think it is right now about FaZe, man? I mean, those first 2 maps were so nasty. Where does the success come from?
Well, obviously they're just disgustingly talented players from top to bottom. Great teamwork, great coaching staff. Like FaZe have everything they could ever possibly want. I would say as far as, I mean, even by the way, for grand finals, I mean, they've been in almost every single grand finals for like the past 3 years. Like if you want to ever win a tournament or a major in the CDL, you have to be able to beat FaZe. That's the rule, because they will be in that final matchup. So I mean, again, for London right now, that's a pretty big problem to solve, or maybe the next hurdle for them to accomplish. But I mean, across the board, the only quote unquote weaknesses you could say this team has is like very specific things, right? GvU2 control, they haven't quite figured out. Berlin hardpoint, they haven't quite figured out. But outside of like some specific maps, it's not even like they're bad at any of them. Like even the Bocage, we haven't seen them play. They come out and just completely ran the show. So there's like specific themes or things that this team needs to tweak, and they will be right back on top.
It'd be a scary prospect again if Ravens can somehow find a new form and a newfound success here and win this Tuscan, force, of course, the Desert Siege Game 5 and take a win. That puts Atlanta FaZe down 0-2 thus far in the road to the major. And talked about it on the desk today. What the hell happens if Atlanta FaZe start in the lower bracket? What happens then? Anyway, quick back over towards this series. Top performance in the hardpoint, not including map number 1, pals, and it's Cellium, the 1.26 overall. He's nasty. Nasty.
I mean, absolutely. Cellium, I think, was in early contention for MVP. I think if they had won the first major, he probably would have gotten the nod in that direction. But as far as this series go, it has been Arcitys, right? The only bit of life they really had in the GvU2 control was off of his back, and certainly in game number 1, I mean, he flipped the switch and completely took over. So definitely look out for him as well on the Tuscan hardpoint. Said it quite a few times, right? Top 5 KD on this map. He is very happy to play. And he'll probably be the top church guy, because we know Cellium, well, he's going to go play on the heady on the right side of the map.
Here we go into Tuscan. Already, we're going to see Arcitys with the straight wall hacks, man. Like, he just
doesn't need to see. He doesn't need to see.
Doesn't need it. He's like, yeah, he's going to be there. Overall was the hard point, an opening contest. Ravens with the 10 seconds. Zero's trying to hold him down. Cellium from what affectionately has been dubbed the Cellium. This is he's in it. That's the Cellium spot, and he's going to do what he can from there. 30 seconds remaining here on first. Already the kills going the way of FaZe. A little bit of back and forth. Mostly, though, Atlanta FaZe running the show. We're going to look towards rotations already, because P1's already done, friends, and it's looking good for Atlanta FaZe.
Oh, yeah, in Arcitys. By the way, Spawn killing them with an MP40 all up in their business. And, well, that is quite the way for FaZe to start. They are on the bad side in terms of getting to P1 first, but the good side when it comes to holding their spawn.
Oh my God.
You go into P2 with the lead. This is as good as it gets for Atlanta. Look how far away the Ravens players are for the moment to even think about contesting this hill. And I mean, they're trying to flank around the back, but I know what Cellium's thinking about, a flank of his own. Hello, 1, maybe number 2, but he does get dropped. But even still, 15 seconds have gone by. FaZe remain untouched in the hard point.
Ravens still spawning in the back. They should be able to get to the point a little quick, but aBeZy finding one. He's looking for another one here by L, and you know he's gonna get it. Wow, FaZe once again locking it down. Church side all covered now. Simp with the shots coming through, and it's going to be 25 remaining here on column P2. Oh my lordy. Simp getting it done once again. aBeZy's now on a 5 spree as Atlanta FaZe starting to heat up.
Well, let's see what Atlanta FaZe has, though, cooked up for the rotation. And, well, aBeZy there to be that intro on the flip side, right? He's on a 6 spree, by the way, so maybe this is how you break this hill and get Gizmo taken care of in the back. Just drop a glide bomb on his head, but unfortunately, he gets dropped, and you see Gizmo from the Godheady in the back able to pick up 2. So this is the moment for Ravens to try to get back into this game. You get the setup on Fountain, the tried and true money hill, and for the moment, Atlanta nowhere near trying to even make this break.
Yep, there's a big opening now. As you can see that mini-map, it's that top side of the screen. That's where FaZe are coming from. And here come the nades up over the top. Zero's going to answer one back. The The salvos continue. Nasty trying to keep the middle of the map safe. He does for now. Here comes the push. Gizmo now changing positions. aBeZy trying to make his way through front. Here comes the lineup. aBeZy, Simp on the left-hand side. All the FaZe getting ready to go. Afro, nades in hand, trying to hold this one down. No one's on the point, though. You've managed to keep it safe for the time being. Time not accumulating. Afro can't win it. Simp's going to keep the point going. There's Nasty now trying to lock this one down alone. 20 seconds remaining. Can the Ravens get the time? It is not bloody likely. Here comes FaZe.
Massey in the hill, though. He needs to pick up a couple big ones because honestly, as far as that hill goes for Atlanta, not that bad. I know Ravens certainly get the edge, get about 30 seconds, but you saw, I think aBeZy made the play in towards Vines. He stripped away about 7 or 8 seconds there. You even strip away that scrap time, so decently played without being able to get that break for Atlanta. Now they have to do the same thing again. The break over towards Church. Simp with that intro kill.
Oh, he's got the intro. He's got the backup as well. Now through front side of the Church, the pinch is on, and there we go, friends. The complete wipe. The cleanup crew is there. FaZe locking it down. Now aBeZy straight into the middle of the map. You think you're safe? Never. When aBeZy is on the map, everything is difficult. 103 now and climbing to the 51 of the Ravens. Church was taken from them. Stripped immediately now as Arcitys through the back. Gizmo finding one. Pinches on pinches. Can we find anything though for the Ravens? Through the back line we go. No, the beatdown from Gizmo can get one. Whoa, he gets two. I don't know how he did that. Still keeping the fight alive. 20 seconds remaining on Church, but Chance, you know the drill. No way to FaZe. Let this time go uncontested. They're going to fight every second, and they truly are getting it done here on Tuscan.
Yeah, final time to go their way just to sort of maintain that lead. That does give a rotation up to the Ravens, though, so maybe an opportunity if Gizmo's picking up kills like that. Afro's had a couple nice ones as well to try to find their way back into this game, but I'm looking at the minimap and already see long routes taken. I don't know if number 5, Cellium, got spotted in the death cam, but now they got 2 players coming in from well. So Zero in the hill trying to deal with the right side. He picks up a big 2. Now the pressure's coming from the bottom, but it looks like his teammates are delivering for the moment. They get the clearance. They get the first 20 seconds in the setup as well. Ravens, a little bit of fight in them. Honestly, looking good on B5.
Even with a lot of fight, it's not easy to break FaZe here on Tuscan. Nasty lining them up, keep B5 safe. Shots from Cell now as they break on through. Here comes the pinch from Zero. Oh baby, 1, maybe 2. There it is. Clean wipes coming through. 3 for Zero. That's going to be 6 in a row. Big stuff out of him. P5 remains in the hands of the Ravens. There's 20 seconds still to go here. As FaZe, they're going to take another crack at it. And here they come. Barely able to get into the time. Just pass to you, Chance. It is non-stop here on Tuscan.
I love that play call, by the way, from FaZe. I'm assuming they were keeping track of the potential streaks from Zero, but honestly, they just want to fight for the scrap because this is a hill you can afford to fight for it. So they sent 3. I don't think Zero was prepared at all. So no glide bomb, and Ravens to get that early rotation because they bullied out P5, but Simp, now we can think about the flank, and look at what this is doing to the arrows. Number 1 on the minimap has to turn to watch the flank because of Simp, and that leaves the guy in the hill by himself for the clearance on the point. Atlanta FaZe, clean and easy breaks, 30-point lead, and now they're trying to run it off.
What is this from Simp? This is classic Chris Lair, as he is absolutely frying his way through these members of the Ravens. Stunned up, doesn't seem to matter. Shots are all there as the pressure now from the Ravens trying to get back into this one. Zero can't get it through the front. Afro cut down on the point. It now falls to Nasty. He's dead. Middle of the map. Gizmo's gone. Atlanta FaZe starting to turn to white hot now as they have turned Tuscan on its head.
Have it their way, Miles, absolutely, and they even get the scrap time. I mean, how many hills? Like, straight from Fountain, it was the same at P5, and even here on P1, if they know they're losing the rotation, they're making damn sure they get that scrap, and well, that gives them a 60-point lead. They've been clean on a couple of these breaks. They're trying to take their time and set up for a new one. You see the idea, a couple players through P5, 2 through top Church, and they found that opening. Now Simp can hit TJHaly.
Straight on it, contesting the point immediately, sliding through, no problem whatsoever. The coverage now is FaZe, seemingly unstoppable, but big wins out on Arcitys. They're up close and personal there, as Gizmo getting now onto the point as well. Ooh, but Arcitys, back and forth we go. It's an incredibly dangerous dance of death now, as Atlanta FaZe going toe-to-toe with the Ravens here on P2 in the next set. Zero can win it. Big shots again. aBeZy, though, back at it. There is no chance for anyone in this game to go any more than 1 kill at a time as the trades upon trades come to a close. Ravens with a brief moment of hardpoint time.
I mean, think about it, though, right? You get that early rotation to this hill, and they just got, what, maybe 10, 15 seconds, and FaZe is still putting on the pressure for the scrap, which they get while they're winning that rotation. So one of the only moments of respite for Ravens to try to get back into this game. I mean, they just get bullied out of the hill once again, and If you don't have that rotation of Fountain, I know Ravens have a reputation of being one of the best breaking teams in the game, but this setup right now, it is not looking good. They're being funneled through P5, and FaZe are just sitting there waiting for the push. But hey, a couple players go down. Ravens win the first set of gunfights. They got to do the exact same thing again.
Let's put their skills as the breakers now to the test. FaZe with the setup. They've got a pinch now on point. This could be good if the Ravens timings works out, and it is not good. It is not good at all. It's all down. Ravens wiped off the map. Another chance at it though with 30 seconds here, and that was a brilliant hold by FaZe.
And they're just doing all the little things right. I mean, we could talk more about it at the end of this game, but there might be a few things on like the entirety of the map set that FaZe needs to do well, but there's also a couple small things that they do better than anybody else. But for the moment, Ravens actually able to maybe not collect all the scrap time because all of FaZe is here to unfortunately shoot Zero in the back, but going to a Churchill. Last time Ravens, they got broken instantly. This time Gizmo finding a couple of openers and trying to stay alive and buy his teammates time in the hold. So far, so good.
They get the break a little too late, but now over to Church once again. We saw FaZe break through this one with ease, seemingly like a hot knife through butter. Gizmo at the back, at least one had teammates covering. Miss Afro, side Church door now. Here comes the fight, and it's going to be nice tags again. Afro gets himself 3 out of this one. You finally get to hold the line down, but Cell breaks on through, gets 2. God, he's disgusting. 30 seconds now remaining on the point. Simp flying into the guns of Nasty. It is non-stop action here on Tuscan. Afro checking every possible corner. Too many nooks and crannies and crevices here on Tuscan. He has to check them all. Hard point time once again in the hands of the Ravens. But FaZe over the 200 point mark now. Chance, it is the business end of the hard point. Ravens have got to go big.
Well, Ravens get more time on this hill, or at least seemingly FaZe again is what's just they're fighting for the scrap, and at least Nasty able to get that kill so they can get the scrap. But now it comes down to that rotation battle. Arcitys here first, but a player down low should get traded. He's taken care of. Simp the next man up, looking for number 2, but Zero able to take him down by 40. Ravens still trying to fight in this game, but you see that swarm Atlanta, they are flying fast.
They're trying. Cell now through the front line. They're going to get a couple of kills, tags in, hopping, diving, dodging, nades, you name it. 3 players now from FaZe on point. Nades now from Ravens. Back at it again. The volleys come through, and it's Gizmo on point. Shots are good as Arcitys now. Deep breath, wait for the reinforcements, and here comes aBeZy now through the front. Can't get any more out of it. Trades are all good. FaZe win the fight. That's going to be FaZe and the point.
They just keeping control of it too. I mean, all the kills going their way. A couple players down low. Up top, the Ravens trying to take one more push. The battle for scrap once again, and Cellium there to deliver. I'm honestly surprised that this game is as close as it has been, because it's looking like FaZe have just been in control from start to finish. Final 10 seconds on the old hill going their way on the rotation though. aBeZy's gonna fall. Simp might be able to try to time this out, but he gets spotted. Zero's there, but Simp, eyes in the back of his head, at least makes that read. But this is the scenario FaZe, 13 seconds away. They win this series. Ravens have to be perfect from here on out, and the pressure coming in through mid.
Afro lands 2. They line up for him, holding hands, gets him in trouble. 3 dead now for FaZe. Ravens buy themselves a little bit of time. Now watching up for the spawns. Good reads. Great awareness there from Afro. Nasty, he's going to be up first. Can you hold out another push now? Ravens, this is going to be huge. Now the trades coming through middle of the map. The pressure swelling from Atlanta FaZe as they make their way onto the point. Next 30 seconds going to be huge as Afro is going wild. He does manage to get the killing spree. I don't think streaks are on the cards. He's brought down Chance. Rotation already for FaZe. Zero's got to get it. He can't get it. That could be the map.
Yeah, if Ravens just get everything except for the spawns. Important gunfight on the flip side. I think Afro saw him. Simp didn't get the intel, and that is Call of Duty timing at its finest. Afro found the opening and wins the gunfight. Ravens still in this, but Afro's still the pressure on. aBeZy looking to hunt him down.
aBeZy has to win this 1v1, and he does. You can nail a coffin there. That's it, surely. The final few seconds come through. Column, the last hard point here on the map. Nasty desperately trying to make his way forward. The clock ticking. Nades are out and about. 2 members of FaZe on point. Here comes the hit from Afro. No hope in hell. Atlanta FaZe. An incredibly hard-fought series, and it was a good sign of life at the end from the Ravens, but that is Atlanta FaZe back. Man alive, what a showing from them, and it's heated. The Ravens is heated. It's a lot of back and forth, and a series that I think a lot of fans thought would have been closer, but at the end of the day, 3-1, the final score. What a delightful start to Saturday.
Yeah, and that was a ton of frustration for London Royal Ravens as well, because I don't know exactly what the moment was or what that argument was about. It could have been the fact that I don't know if they were expecting to give up those back spawns when Zero actually wins the gunfight in church. So I don't know if someone just had poor positioning that was blocking the spawns, or if they were just hoping Afro would win more gunfights in the back. But saltiness for sure. I'm impressed Ravens even made that close, because it seemed like every single hill, especially in the first half, like FaZe are picking up the scrap time. They're bullying them out when they lose the rotation. When they get the rotation, they're getting near full 60s. But that might have just been the case of too big of a lead for FaZe to let go. Cellium and aBeZy, obviously nice performances. And I don't know, just a clean game towards, or not a clean game. That is the incorrect word, but a clean series for the rough final game.
Unbelievable displays out of Atlanta FaZe once again, as certainly they put on a clinic here on Tuscan. But they're looking across the highlights here, and man, we saw some good stuff. This two-piece out of Gizmo, dude, that was wild, and big wins again. So hard to hold those points. The break's good for both teams, but I think one of the things that really set FaZe apart this series for me, and the hard points especially, was they get the breaks, not necessarily all the time, but they kept London off of the hills. They don't let Ravens get any hard point time truly. They would not let anything go by, and every second contested, whether it was literally in point or with their guns at a distance, keeping the Ravens' feet out of it. I just thought that was such a big difference maker, especially on Gavutu as well. Clinical stuff out of FaZe. Ravens back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I think literally outside of the first two hills, Atlanta FaZe kind of played the Ravens game of like, we're kind of on the back foot, like having to go and break these hills, but just incredibly consistent about actually breaking in or making the contest or stripping away the time, whatever the case may be. So Atlanta FaZe maybe taking a page, maybe an unwanted one out of their opponent's book, but still have a very clean series. The Gavutu hardpoint was on point. And something I wanted to bring up of like, we saw the opening break, right? Of you have Arcitys literally just pushed up all the way inside their spawn. There's like a few key things that Atlanta FaZe does better than everybody. I think holding P4 on Gavutu is another example of like the main factor why they won map 1. But I mean, there's the look at the series. Atlanta FaZe does a couple things right on map 1, get the victory, does everything right for the Bocage S&D, and obviously Gavutu control, still one of the weaker points for Atlanta, but I mean, outside of that, they'll take that 3-1 victory.
I mean, that Bocage Search and Destroy, though, man, that was as Gizmo just tweeted seconds ago, they tore us a new one on that map, and yes, they did. Lordy, what a crazy series that was. Great start to the Saturday. How we doing, Desk? We feeling good? Feeling a bit spicy after that one? I'll tell you what, we're in for a great day. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I mean, that series was incredible. Personally, I thought I was going to go to Game 5. And I thought London was going to be able to edge it up there, but they weren't able to. And I really like the discussion that you guys just had talking about what FaZe does better than a lot of teams. Yeah. I really think that FaZe, they play so fast, right? But it's fast in the right way. Like, they are so quick to push out the cuts, like and they have a plan on every single hill. Like, the P3 into P4 on Gavutu is just beautiful every single time. And they executed it properly with the spawn trap both times, getting ready for P5.
I think FaZe is one of those teams that adapts very quickly to another team's play style, where I feel like that's what sets them and OpTic kind of apart from the rest of the teams.
Well, it's time for our Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. We have none other than Arcitys. Let's talk to him for a little bit. First of all, congrats on the win, my brother. And I got 2 questions for you right off the bat. What'd you have for breakfast today? Because you were frying. And what have you been doing to individually improve? Because that was the best I've seen you play in quite some time.
I think ever since like the first 2 matches of LAN, I just been on a different level, because like I obviously like picking up Preston helped me a lot, because I always go to him to ask, and like if he's on another team or like he's not a sub, he's not gonna help me at all, because like, or he would, but it's just not good and it's not competitive, so I won't ask him. But like he just helps me with my gameplay, and like I've been taking notes, learning. Obviously we're trying to play a different game style now, and it's kind of working, but like see at those mixy maps, like Tuscan right there, it'll get a little mixy, but we're still learning. So
also, I need to know what you had for breakfast, because when I go and play ranked, like I need to be feeling like that, because you were beaming.
Ranked play goods.
All right, there we go. Perfect.
Those guys are ass. I'm kidding. Please don't.
Okay, well, I hope I never have to queue up against you, but I do have to ask about that Bocage S&D. It seems we haven't seen y'all play that yet in the league. Is it teams just banning it against you guys, or was it something you weren't too comfortable with? Because you 6-2
we banned it somehow.
London.
We're banning it just because like it was just like, it's just such a mixy map, and like it took us like a while. Then we got like Pog's been helping us. So we've been trying to like make strats on every map, but like that one like recently has felt the most comfortable during scrims at least. So right there it just showed, and like obviously everyone says Bocage is very like tough to play, but I don't think we've lost it. I could be wrong, but I don't think we lost in a while.
That was the only time you guys have played Bocage S&D.
No, I'm talking about Bocage in general.
Oh, okay.
In general,
Just
yeah,
in general,
I don't think we've lost.
Yeah.
Well, you guys played absolutely phenomenal. Is there anything you want to say to the Atlanta FaZe fans out there and the people supporting the chat?
We love you guys. Hopefully we have an event soon because I was getting booed. I want to cry after that first major. So hopefully we get you guys soon, and aBeZy sucks.
All right, well, good luck going forward in the rest of the matches. Thanks for chatting with us, Alec.
Yep. Bye.
All right, man. Alec was putting on a show,
Yeah.
and he's got the scuff play of the game as well, so let's check it out. I mean, what he was doing on that.
On the Gavutu, man, he was just having it. I was just like, oh, okay, RC's doing well. Oh, now he's like double positive, and like everybody else, like Cellium, pretty sure was negative, aBeZy and Simp were even across the board, and I was like, damn, Alec's art carrying right now.
Yeah, no, even when he pulled out the SMG, like he was
Yeah.
just popping off,
Right.
especially on that Tuscan. But I mean, we saw Simp on Tuscan as well, picking up some big kills. But let's check out the scuff play of the game and see what Arcitys was up to. I believe it's going to be that three-piece that he had. Yeah, right off the bat. And Chance did a great job like highlighting what FaZe does so well. They're so quick to push out the cuts to make it tough for the team to get any control of the map. When they get in a position of power, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to win a tough gunfight to get back there. But you can see right here, the stutter step slide. Like, who says Arcitys can't use a sub?
Nobody, dude. Absolutely no one says that three-piece with MP40. If your AR shooting like that, I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, if you guys want to look like Atlanta FaZe on the map, make sure you go to shop.callofdutyleague.com. You can get yourself some Atlanta FaZe gear or whatever team you support. If you're going to Major II, make sure you go check out that website, get some merch so you can be dripped out, man. Because like I said, I've been looking at you guys, and you guys got to step it up. So shop.callofdutyleague.com to go ahead and get your merch. But that's going to do it for the post show for that. On the other side of this, we're going to be talking about Paris versus the new look New York Subliners. I'm excited to see if they can bounce back with Paul X. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Zenni. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenni.com/CDL. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soul, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We got another banger for you guys. Paris versus New York. I'm Nameless. That's aLLeY. We're having a lot of fun today. And honestly, this matchup is very exciting because New York, they made that roster change. They got Paul X coming in, and they're hoping for a honeymoon time.
Absolutely, and even though it's the bottom two teams going at it, it still should be a fairly close matchup going New York versus Paris. Paris with their new roster having Jimbo on it, and New York adding on Paul X. So all eyes are going to be on New York Subliners and what he can do for this squad.
Yeah, I mean, they need to win hardpoint. Their hardpoint record is 0-13. That might be the worst hardpoint loss streak we've ever seen in professional Call of Duty. I mean, that's just downright abysmal. They have to slay more. You know, they've had a couple close calls on Gavu too, but aLLeY, what are the game fuel keys to victory for the New York Subliners?
Well, the honeymoon effect. Paulo went 2-0 with London last weekend with a 1.06 KD. We saw that 1.17 KD in hardpoint alone, so they definitely need that stat buff, and big opportunity for Neptune versus a weak opponent. He's 0.73 KD this season. This is now a time where he has to show up. It was the previous roster that he struggled on and ended up getting dropped on. He gets put back on, and now they put Paul X in that flex role. He needs to step it up big time and lock down the control. NYSL is 7th in round win percentage. Paris is on a 7-game losing streak, so they need to capitalize on a team that's already down.
Yeah, you know, I think for New York, like going into this one, they shouldn't try to be extremely structured. It's just not going to work. You have Paul X coming in, Neptune, who recently came back in. You got to let them go out and just do their thing, right? Like, I've been on teams before like that, especially during the honeymoon time. Like, got to go out and play your game, let people slay. These guys play the game all day long. They generally know what they want to do on the map, and, you know, let that new team good luck come into play here. But moving on to the Paris Legion, this is a team that's gotten reverse swept back-to-back times. They cannot win control. The other game modes have been decent. They've been 50-50 there. What's been going wrong with the Paris Legion, aLLeY?
They just haven't been able to close it out for some reason. Temp and John have been frying, and the big question mark for me right now actually happens to be in Gravity. I believe he has a 0.86 KD this season so far, and we know what he's capable of. We've seen him in Challenger Scene. We've seen him behind players like Simp and aBeZy, so it's not that the squad is too aggressive. I think he just needs to find his pacing.
Yeah, and for the game fuel keys to victory, I mean, I'm sure it's going to have something about control, but John also needs to continue the hot slaying. 1.18 KD yesterday versus London. You know, when Jimbo was able to, you know, win his ones, push up and be that aggressive player and not just get cut down in bad spots individual, it allowed John to pop off. So he's got to continue that. Jimbo to build off of a solid series. 0.91 KD versus London, led the lobby in engagements by 17. Something tells me he's going to lead the lobby in engagements again. It's just the way he plays. And then need more from Gravity and control, as you mentioned. 0.86 KD on this season. His first series we saw, especially on land, like played good, but since then, he's just been a little stagnant. We haven't seen him really come into his zone, and you know, when Temp and John are playing like that, MajorManiak has to capitalize. So hoping he can have a bounce back series here versus the New York Subliners.
And I have to say, for Jimbo, he just has to win his ones. Like you said, John and Temp are going to be the aggressors for this squad. They're going to be the high slayers. You don't need 3 of them across the board just getting those high engagements, or else we'll see a Florida situation where they're just getting high engagement kills. They're out slaying, but they're losing the respawn. So hopefully Paris can find their pacing heading into against the team New York Subliners, who is already struggling.
Absolutely. Now, you know what time it is. It's Pick'em's time. We're going to start with you here. Who do you got in this series, New York or Paris?
I got New York. I'm vibing with Paul X right now. I'm vibing with the squad. It looked like there were smiles all around in the player cams. I'm going to go with New York.
So they're going to win a hard point.
I think they're going to win a hard point. I think this is the time. Or they could pull Toronto Ultra and go 2-3-5.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go with Paris Legion. They've been going up 2 on a lot of these series, and New York is a pretty weak opponent, and they just made a roster change. So Paul's got his work cut out for him, but I'm going Paris 3-1 fashion.
I respect that.
All right, well, let's throw it over to Lando and Studdy as they take it away. Enjoy the series, fellas.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, it is going to be a fun series. I know the labels, right, Jay? It's the labels on the battle for last, right? Who's going to actually win this series? Who's gonna advance? What's going on?
Can't hear you.
What's happening? You can't hear me?
Discord.
I'm not muted.
There you go. There you go, pal. There you go.
My bad. My bad, Jay. I think the stream could hear what I was saying, but Jay, it's the battle for last. Like I said, the series is already starting off in somewhat of a chalked way, but we'll see what happens. Who can walk away with this dub?
I have no idea, man. This is going to be an insane series. Obviously, the battle for last place to whoever is the loser of this series. Obviously, New York, they're coming off of some roster moves. pauLLex making his way on the roster after such a great debut with the Ravens, going 2-0 last week. He's going to come in for Clayster, going up against a Paris Legion squad, though, who have been struggling in the last couple of series. Like, they played Minnesota, they go up 2-0, then they get reverse sweep. Yesterday, they played London, they go up 2-0, they get reverse sweep. So that tells me right off the rip that the thing that they need to work on has to be control, because that is the swing win in this series, and hopefully they can answer early into this one and not allow New York to come out and win their very first hardpoint.
Yeah, can it be today? Is Bocage, of course. Could it be this map that gives New York their very first hardpoint win? We actually did have our stats team look into it, and it is officially the worst hardpoint streak in CDL history. They've officially broken it with 13 after LAG's 12 loss spree and hardpoint back in Cold War. But can it be today, Jay, with the new additions? How excited are you for the debut of pauLLex here for the Subliners?
I'm super excited to see pauLLex on NYSL, because one thing that he brought to London, all he had to do was just fill the role for Gizmo, and that just comes with the kills. When you're that flex player, just picking up kill after kill, and that's something that NYSL have been struggling with. I'm pretty sure they're not positive in hardpoints in general. Everybody's sitting underneath for 1.0 KD. Like Nameless said on the desk, the honeymoon period needs to be now, and hopefully pauLLex answers early.
Yeah, and we'll see what he can do. As we said, for the Subliners team, a few new additions, right? Neptune gets brought back into the team ahead of that Florida series where they get 3-0'd. It has been pretty much down in the dumps if you are an NYSL fan, but like we said, today could be their day. And I don't know, Jay, we'll talk about hardpoint losses and you know, the streak that they've been on. A win today, it could happen, considering that Paris are also the 11th place team in hardpoint. If it's going to be versus anybody, it could be versus the Legion.
Yeah, and especially on this map, number one, neither one of these teams see a lot of success. I'm pretty sure on the side of Paris Legion, they're sitting at 1-4. For NYSL, they are 0-3, but they are starting off this game hot as Neptune is able to find 2 in the feed. 25 seconds remaining on this P2 hardpoint. You have to start thinking about those rotations and look at HyDra. Already sitting at 8-4. He finds another 2-piece off the rotation, almost finds 3, but still getting a lot of time in favor of NYSL.
Yeah, it is a solid start for the NYSL crew. Only 8 seconds left, and one guy who also is going to be in the topic of conversation is the rookie. Only his 3rd or 4th series for the Paris Legion, Jimbo. A slow start his very first 2 matches, but played much better in the game versus the London Royal Ravens. As we said, Paris off of back-to-back reverse sweep losses. We'll see if that hot start can continue as they look to get back in this game. The spawns, without a doubt, are going to be in their favor for next, but it's Neptune. Nice little 180. Shuts down John as he is in the constant fight for these spawns. The break nearly from the front. NYSL doing a solid job at making their way in toward the bottom side of the hard point, but right on cue, Jimbo answers with a double.
Yeah, Paris keep control of the spawns. Once they eliminated that player in Neptune, that was the only line of defense that they had to control from the backside. So now remaining 20 seconds left on this P3 hardpoint. NYSL able to break in through the front. They're putting so much pressure because they're not really worried about flipping these spawns. There's no one on the side of Paris Legion across the map. So if you can get this junk time, you will secure these spawns for that P4 in your favor if you're NYSL.
Yeah, one of the, you know, stickier spawns that we've got here in Vanguard. You could call it a number of them, and Back Grandma's remains exactly the same, continuing to force this one out. As we said, the Subliners' aggression only looks to try and continue as they are prepared now for Barn. You want to call a Money Hill on Bocage, be my guest, but it very well could be this one, as it is a 3-for-1 trade off the start for Legion as they try to make their way on in as well. It was NYSL so aggressive inside of the spawns, but it's Neptune answering back off of what was a nice little moment for Legion. They get wiped off the board, and now is the time for New York to try and set on up.
Yeah, New York are trying to set up. Maybe not. 3 down. Last player here is going to be pauLLex. He takes down 1, but eventually Paris are able to secure the point. 20 seconds remaining on this P4 hard point. You have to start thinking about that rotation though. Number 7, which is going to be Temp, has a huge one-on-one versus HyDra. He's not going to be able to win it. But here comes HyDra. He at least finds 2. Paris are doing a great job of just contesting this P4 hardpoint as they are still secure on the backside. You see number 8 and number 7, Temp and Jimbo off the rotation.
Yeah, and that just goes to show, right, what this Legion team now really has with this roster. Some really talented players coming in from the challengers over these last few weeks, bringing in Gravity, bringing in Jimbo. Great little moment there as they hold off New York on what looked to be a fantastic hardpoint setup over at Barn as the trades will continue. Now at our final hill, the first set of rotations, it is NYSL answering and winning the overall team fight. They've now got spawns. Rather, Paris do have spawns, at least preferred for the last 30 seconds. John tries to make his way inside the middle. He gets dropped. Lead changes back and forth, but it's New York who gets 4 down again.
So right now, New York just have him trapped in this back L wall area, just basically spawning him out all the way towards that back tree. Neptune, he was doing a great job of just putting on the pressure, allowing his teammates to get this hill uncontested. As New York do have the lead by 8 points, Crimsix is beaming. They find out Crim's been lacking. He's gonna need to run this man AR for quite some time, sitting at 18 and 12, leading the slaying department alongside HyDra with 18 kills. Now we find ourselves on the second rotation of these hard points. New York have the spawns.
Yeah, the first set of rotations, it's HyDra and Crimsix leading the way right now for the Subliners as HyDra toward the top side of Grandma's over in the attic, doing a great job at taking down a few, trying to make things easier for his teammates inside of the point. But as we reflect, take a look at that score, current 2-point game. Let's step aside and go to the comms. Let's go to a listing with NYSL.
I'm smoking on.
I'm waiting till you spawn.
I'm trying to pick your real. Stay down, Sam.
I can't hold it. I'm absolutely right now.
Yo, one's beat hut. Temp needed. Yeah, Temp is C+.
John, one shot.
Yeah, you got me for now.
Four. Yep. Everyone get a nade on hill. Get a nade. Get a nade.
Nading over right now. Naded.
Watch him
He's gonna be pushed out, okay?
Yeah, watch him plat. Weak on time.
Stop on me. Stop. Dead.
Nice job. Top gate.
On gate dead.
Yo, P2, midfield.
Yo, midfield. He's out there midfield going on the truck.
On that tank. Yep, he's still there.
He left for me.
One shot. He's pushing
Okay,
Losey.
2 bottom barn. 2 pushing low bottom barn.
Already. Don't die, Crim. You're alone.
I spawn closer to you.
What's still gonna be Losey, guys? Yeah, John Losey. Z dead.
I still in the back.
Yo, back barn, one shot.
Dead.
Nice.
Yo, side off.
I don't see him.
Nice. Alright, push out.
I'm playing bottom barn.
Nice. I'll pick up low left.
Yo, front dig.
Time, go. Go.
Front dig dead.
It might be going around, dude.
No, that's good.
Okay.
One's left. Two left.
Give me a second behind him.
Stop left right now. Yeah, I have your Z.
No, there's 3 there. One's
I have
up 2.
One in the hole.
All low on you. All plat.
He's acing me, John.
One low,
Stay left.
He's going hole right now, John. We're bottom bar.
Low left. Be careful, John. He's gonna get angle on you.
Hold dead.
Yeah, take your time.
He's on the tank.
He pitched back burn. Dead.
Nice. One on the low tank. I spawned right. One's behind you.
Porter, stay down.
He's weak, Jimbo. One shot on the tank.
Yeah, he's on the tank. I'll kill him.
Okay.
Nice, get that
You
time.
push out.
Watch
Flat right now,
out
Donnie's up to flat.
One's low left. I got second behind
Nice,
you. Low
flat,
left.
guys.
I'm one shot.
Oh my god.
Just fucking shit.
Shit on. I died on
One
him.
street.
I'll get the shot.
He's getting P5. Yeah, another one. Ace and D. Yeah, take your time, Parker.
Ace right now. Temp.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Go AC, go kitch. AC, go kitch.
One's bench, Sean.
No, back left.
Donnie dead.
Back left.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Kitch right now.
Okay, kitchen. One's going top house, I think. I think Brian coverage.
Yeah, I'm already right.
Okay, kitchen.
He's tower.
One shot kitchen. Gravity.
I'm pitching tunnel.
I'm pulling out stuff for this.
I got native front.
Nice, kitchen dead. Nice, let's fight this shit.
I'm playing for your spawners.
Close to me. Dead.
Back left, one shot, John. One shot back left, John.
Yeah, he's tower.
I got native.
I'm playing for the tower.
Yep.
Tower.
Dead. I spawned here.
Johnson back window dead.
Nice, good
He's in time. Kitch. One shot, Kitch.
Nice little check-in there with the New York Subliners as they currently find themselves up 20 and with current control over the last 20 seconds of our hardpoint at bottom. Grandma's Jay, a young team, some new additions, and on a map like Bocage, those comms can be tested. How did you feel that NYSL sounded with all the new additions on the team?
Yeah, those comms are definitely a little bit mixy, but you can just tell, like, there's a whole new energy in the side of NYSL. Vibes are flowing. Neptune, he sounds like he's playing at the highest level. Like, his energy is absurd right now. He's just flying around, putting himself in great positions, picking up 2 pieces left and right. But you can just tell, it feels like there's a whole new NYSL roster, and so far, it's been showing. They were able to break into that P3 hardpoint. First go around, they didn't get a chance to, as Paris were able to hold down the back. They break in. Now they have a 30-point lead. Now it's time to start thinking about this P4.
It is indeed. Nice shots coming in from Gravity. They still look to try to alleviate some of the pressure over toward the plat side. As trades continue to go back and forth, it is Paris with a moment to breathe. A nice nade there on the Crimsix. Is John, a great player yesterday in that series versus the Ravens. The veteran trying to establish some of that presence right now, but it's HyDra, the young gun on the back that will help break open this hardpoint. Spawn still going to be close there for the Legion, so that will at least allow for a trade and maybe open things up for this final 10. But a great play right there from the French phenom as we prepare for the rotation. And right now it is Paris there early.
And Paris are winning every single gunfight as well. There's only be one player pushed up far enough, which is going to be PaulX. He's trying to work his way in through tunnel. He's the player on the side of NYSL that can try to flip these spawns if he can find his kill towards the back, but his teammates actually shoot over him. He picks up that kill on John, helps HyDra take down Jimbo. So now New York are able to break in. If you're PaulX, you want to try to play your life, but he gives it up to Tom Gravity. So now NYSL have control, but you see HyDra, he's trying to play for better positioning.
Oh, Neptune as well tries to go for the flank. 3-for-1 trade for the moment as the last player for Paris decides to dip on into the sewers. Let me try to get another perspective at this as Crim continues to fight for the kills in the back. Paris look to try to jump back on into the hill, but right there is where they jump into the jaws of Neptune, now at 3 in a row, and continues to secure the seconds. Again, Paris, while they are winning some of these fights, they are not getting a solid look at this hard point. Up by 30 seconds. New York, they feel it. They feel like something has changed. Some momentum has started to shift, but the game is not done just yet as Crim now enters to 35 kills. A great slime performance from the GOAT, from the veteran on this New York team. A lot of pressure on his shoulders as he eventually does get taken down. Paris currently with mid-map pressure, with control, and potentially now with spawns.
Yeah, so right now, Paris is doing a great job of just keeping control in the back, but look at number 3. HyDra does spawn towards lower trenches. He wins that gunfight onto Gravity, so he's going to have a huge one-on-one going up against Jimbo. Jimbo does take him down. Such a big kill for Paris Legion to secure these spawns. You're not going to fight off a lot of time off this P1 hardcore, but keep in mind that clock might come into play. 50 seconds remaining in this game. NYSL are trying to win their very first hardpoint of the season.
It feels intense. It feels like we're in the middle of a grand final, for God's sake, Jay. Can they do it? Your boys. You're a biased caster for the Subliners, but it's all good. Subliners doing everything they can. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think everybody wants to see New York at least win a hard point at some point soon. But can it be today? Paris trying to keep that streak alive and walk away with an early victory in this series, much like they've done recently. It's Paul going off in the barn, and it's HyDra again applying the pressure on the back. PaulX, much like Spidey and his announcement, keeping New York safe. 25 seconds left, could now be the time. 26 as well left on the game clock. It is looking like it could be a W for NYSL as HyDra explodes for 5 in a row. Now make it 6. Incredible plays out of NYSL. Is now the time.
I think it's time. I think it's time. NYSL, they're going to be able to do it. Crim finds the 2 kills to close it out.
There
2
it is.
NYSL players step up. 40 bomb out of HyDra, 40 bomb out of Crim. They finally win a hard point.
The curse has been broken. The game has been cemented. The Subliners have officially won a hard point in Vanguard. Unbelievable stuff. You can't write these things, Jay. Incredible, incredible work out of New York. You and I came to each other at the start of this cast, and we said it feels like it could be the day. It could be the time. Paris did all they could, but how about the double 40 bombs out of HyDra and Crim?
Man, if they playing like that, this is the NYSL I was expecting to see in the beginning of the year. They were in control of that game from start to finish. Besides that P3 hardpoint, you thought Paris Legion, the way that they were able to hold down that Grandma's Hill for the first go around of rotations, they basically like 40 to 50 seconds. But NYSL, they made the adjustments on the second time around. Neptune, instead of challenging from the left side tanks, he works his way through back tower on the right side, and then eventually they find a couple kills. They were able to flip those spawns and get at least a good chunk of time there. That was the turning point of the game for me. NYSL finally win their very first hardpoint of the entire season. That's got to be frustrating on the Paris Legion side, even though they're not really a good hardpoint team either. But when you're playing against a fairly new team, you want to be able to close out some of these maps.
Yeah, and Jimbo does top things out at 40 deaths, the most in the game. Something to keep in mind as the rest of this series does progress, as the New York Subliners finding themselves in unfamiliar territory, up 1-0 in a series for the first time here in the CDL for Vanguard. Incredible stuff out of New York, but as you said, Jay, just a number of different moments. But I mean, like I said, it comes down to that really final